Hello everybody and welcome back to Teresa's Corner. I am Teresa Ruiz. I'd like to thank you all for choosing to spend your time with me, and I also like to take a minute to apologize to you guys. It has been like 2 weeks since I last posted a video. We've been a little busy at work. I've been at work a lot more than I'd like. But we had a mini COVID outbreak, if you can call it that. I have been at work a lot more. I'm fine. I have not been affected. I'm healthy, but it is taking a lot of time, and I haven't had time to edit videos and post them. So bear with me here. I'm gonna try to upload when I get a chance, but just know that it might take me a little longer. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, here I have 3 phalaenopsis. All 3 phalaenopsis I'm dealing with here. I'm having the issue that they're leaning too much. You see this right here? They're doing this, and I don't like that because they take a lot more room on my shelves, and my shelves indoor, I've designed them where there's a gap, huge gap for taller orchids. So when they're spreading sideways, it takes a lot more room. Plus, I actually don't mind it. I like how they look. I don't know, I can't. I feel like they're just gonna, once they get big, and some of these are getting pretty big, it's just gonna be messy. So this is what they look like leaning. This is gonna be the end product here. I have a little spike here because I haven't really secured it. So what I'm gonna use to secure it is some jute twine here that I have. And I'm going to use my clippers or my shears, whatever you're going to call it. And what I'm using here as a stake is the large size bamboo stakes that you would use for your plants for gardening. I just have these handy because of my tomato plants and any other fruit trees that I'm growing. To keep them growing straight, I use these bamboo sticks. Are very, very sturdy, so that's why I like it. I'll show you guys a before for this one, how it was leaning. I like how it looks, way better than leaning. As you can see, if I take this, actually this one was leaning way too much because it's a new leaf, so it's growing, right? So I'm actually going to remove it because I'm going to secure it, but I had put this little stake here to keep it in place. So pretty much on this video, I'm going to show you how to take it from looking like this to this. Unfortunately, I will have to unpot this, and if you guys remember, this is the orange phal that was affected by the thrips, and as you can see here, this was the damage on the end. The leaf ended up growing pretty well. If you can see this here, it did not grow as long as the previous leaf, and it's okay because it was infected with thrips, but look, it's sprouting a new leaf and it's healthy, it's nice. And do you guys remember how this one also had mold issues? That was why it was looking very dehydrated. Well, look at that, I repotted it. Same pot, I just used new media, and it started sprouting all kinds of, it's got some nice roots. See that in there? No more mold issues. It seems that I was able to save some of the older roots too. Look at that, it's got some new roots all the way down there too. The older roots look pretty good as well, but we're gonna go ahead and unpot it so I can fix it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. We're gonna take this beauty here, and as you can see, leaves are a little ashy. I need to wipe them down. I will right after this, but let's see what it looks like on the inside. I hate to unpot it after I last unpotted it because I just feel like I'm just setting it back, but I mean, I kind of have to if I want to strain it out. But I mean, look at these roots. Look at those tips right there. So it's doing very well after the issue it had with the mold. It is expected that it has some dead roots because some of these were really bad. And if you guys don't remember this, the video I uploaded where I'm talking about this specific orchid, I believe is Thrips update. If not, no worries. I will link them in the description below. I know I always say I'm going to do that and I never do it. I'm sorry, you guys. I always forget by the time I uploaded it. I'm still very new to this. But if I do forget something, let me know. So, as you can see, it has some very dry roots. But, like I said, I knew that was going to happen. It's not such a big deal because the roots, the new roots, are doing very well. And, oh no! I don't know what's going on, you guys. Look. Take you guys in. You see that? Those are little spores of fungus. Oh no. Look at this. What on earth is going on? Maybe I didn't sanitize this pot that well when I first used it. So, I'm gonna get rid of this media. Unfortunately. And I'm gonna actually just, I think I'm gonna pot this in a self-watering pot. I did not want to remove these. I didn't want to pot these in self-watering pots because I like these black clay pots that I have here. But I think I might have to boil it and treat it, which I did not do that the last time. But look at that. Oh, unbelievable. I'm just glad it didn't get to the plant yet. So, alright. No biggie. No biggie. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a clean pot so I can do that. Prep some media. I was not expecting to... Oh yeah, definitely. Look at that. That's inside the pot. I'm definitely going to use new media. Alright, so I'll be right back. Let me figure this out. Alright, so I'm going to use this self-watering pot here. And it seems like it's large, but it's not. It's like a 4.5, I believe. And what I like about these is that they snap in place. So then you don't have to worry about it moving around or slipping out. So I'm going to use some... I have my media here. I'm gonna just go ahead and use some moss for the bottom. Of course I'm gonna have moss everywhere, but I want to make sure I add some in there. I have some leftover media here that I had already soaked in water. So I keep media in a container already pre-mixed that I can just throw in another container with water and soak it. I actually thought I had snails on one of them. Actually, I did have snails on one of them yesterday, so I did that off camera. That was my dendrobium that is actually in bloom. I started seeing the new growth was being munched on, so that's a little bit of the media that's left. But I didn't find the snail, unfortunately, but so I think it's going between two orchids back and forth, and I have to take care of the other one today. But I wanted to get this on video, like I said, you know, let you guys know that I'm gonna be a little off on posting weekly. Oh, see, this is what I mean. So I think that the snail is going between my phals because they were in the same area with my dendrobium. And I know because you see that slime, you see that? That's from a snail. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to unpot it and take a look at it. I don't know. I didn't find one when I potted the other phal, but so oh, it just hit you guys. So there, I have my, that's where I want my phal to sit, and I'm gonna make sure it sits kind of upright how I want it to sit, so it doesn't start leaning. And then I'm gonna put the stake in there, and I'm gonna tie it up. But I'll show you guys. It's unfortunate starting doing that, and I didn't. It's my fault because I didn't get to it before. but it's okay. Alright, so I'm just adding media in there. I'm gonna add some rocks in there. Just a few. I like my media kind of airy. I know. I don't know if you guys, any of you guys use rocks in your media, but I have a problem with overwatering, you guys. And I feel that the rocks in there help me not overwater. I'm gone a lot, so, you know, if I know I'm going to be gone, I'll water them. If I know I'm going to be gone for like a week or so, I'll make sure I water them. Even if they're not ready to be watered, just because I don't want like I don't want to add another chore or something like that to my mom or my husband. But then my orchids suffer. It's unfortunate. I'm trying not to do that. That's another reason why I'm trying to use, it's a lot of moss in there. That's why I'm trying to use self-watering pots. Sometime November, I think I'm going to be gone for like a week. I'm not quite sure how long, but it's going to be about a week or so. And just last week, I was gone 4 days back to back. So it is what it is. I just have to deal with it, you know. So there. And I'm just gonna add a top layer of rocks there as soon as I'm done with spiking it. So as you can see, this stake right here is about 4 feet long right now. So I'm gonna cut somewhere. I kind of just snapped it, and I'm gonna add it back here. I'm gonna add it because the phal is leaning this way, right? So just gotta be careful. Wiggle it in there, don't force it. I do have roots in there. See that right there? That's where I want it. You see how it already stays there pretty well? The only thing is that my leaves are all kind of hanging down this way. It's okay, it'll be fine. And I'm just gonna use some twine to tie it a few times around the stake because I don't want it wobbling too much. I don't want it, so I'm taking my twine and I took maybe about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet of jute twine. And what I'm doing is, don't worry, the jute twine doesn't leave any markings on the phals, and it's gonna, with time, like with maybe a month or two, it's gonna break down. You don't have to worry about it once the orchid doesn't need it anymore. So I'm not really damaging anything. You see that? I go around between the leaves, that way I'm not, I know it's not the most beautiful thing but like I said, in a month or two it's gonna break down. I don't mind seeing it for a while. You won't even notice it. Your orchid will be upright. You can definitely remove the stake if you like, or you can leave it. It's up to you. I've never had orchids this big, or phalaenopsis get this big, because like I said, I'm constantly moving around and I tend to lose them when I'm gone. I'm not adding too much rocks there because I still want the roots to go down. So that's it. I'll just go ahead and add a little bit of water, and that should be fine. So this one here, as you guys saw, it's already propped up, but I think there's a snail in there, you guys. And the little piece of bark that I just removed, it was from this one, but let me take you guys in closer. You see that right there? That limey thing is from a snail. Darn. I don't want to unpot it because I just potted it, but I have to. Alright, so see, I had just watered it because I had just potted it. It was completely dry. It was completely dry when I removed it from the pot because it was leaning so much. So, but I don't see the snail, you guys. I just see mold, which I don't understand why it's happening. Because, you see that? I don't see a snail. I see signs that there was a snail here. This is a tag. This one is a Phalaenopsis sago Euclidean evergreen, and it's just an all white phal. This one was the one with all the aerial roots, all these roots. So what I did was that a few days before I started actually, before actually potting it, I was training them. So I would spray the roots till they got soft, and then I started kind of tucking them into the pot. And I did that every day for like 3 days, and I started tucking them in further and further. And then, yeah, I just potted it in there, guys. And look, it has some really good roots. The aerial roots seem to be doing good. And you can tell that it's growing because look at the difference between the aerial root that was hanging out is way darker here than the tip. And that's just because it's growing inside the pot. It's not getting any sunlight. I don't see the snails, you guys. I just see signs. Like I said, you see that shine there, that bark? That's from the snails. But no snails. Alright, I hate to do this because I like these ceramic pots, but since I already potted one in a self-watering, I'm going to do the same to the other one. That way I can use new media. And I'm going to spray this one with hydroperoxide, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, I found the snail. Look at it. It's a disgusting little creature. That thing is eating the new roots off my Phalaenopsis. Or at least, not yet, not off this one, but my Dendrobium. I'm assuming this little creature's been going from pot to pot. That's why I knew I had snails again, because I noticed my Dendrobium being munched on. That is a pretty big one. Ew. Alright, let me get rid of this and then we'll continue. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just spray this one with hydroperoxide 3%. Just in case that snail laid eggs. I want to make sure they stay off. I'm going to let it dry for a few seconds while I start prepping the pot. I'm going to end up just potting them in self-watering pots. I saw signs of snails, and sure enough, there were snails. Not only snails, but fungus. I have to. I have no choice. Alright, I'm not adding water because as you saw when I pulled the stake off, that thing was so wet. That's because I had water like 3 days ago. Before I pot, right, I'm gonna go and rinse this one off because I don't want to introduce the same fungal spores in the new media. So I'm gonna go rinse it off and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I rinsed it off. It's ready to go. I have it in the pot, but it's looking a little crowded. I don't know if I like that because I want to be able to keep it in this pot as long as possible. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm sure I'll do good. Stake back here just because I want to be able to get it in there. There's a lot of roots. I don't want to push through on this one. What I'm doing here with the chopstick that you see me doing is the wick. I'm trying to kind of pull it up a little bit so it's right underneath the... So that's where my stake is going to be. It's going to hold it in place. And I want all these roots to grow down there towards the bottom. So the reason I pulled it out is because I might have added... It's not a lot, but it was concentrated in one area, and I can tell because the plant was just kind of lopsided. Alright, now I'll have to redo this again. See, the pots have these 2 holes there, and so that's where the wick goes in there. Like that. And like I said, this pot is about has about a 3-inch water reservoir. Of course, I'm not using all 3 inches. That's just too much water for phals. And I still want it to go through a dry period. I don't want to go like an entire month without watering, especially with winter coming. During winter, I tend to water every like 25 days. They don't need a lot of water because they don't dry out as fast. Alright, so that's the last thing I want to do, overwater these, especially because they've gotten so big. Just this year, this one grew. It's still growing, this one. So you can see it's already a big leaf, but it's nowhere near the other ones. It finished developing this one. It grew this one here. Okay, so yeah, it grew this one here, and I believe this one here is the one that was still developing when I got it. So that is a lot of growth in 1 year, considering that my other phals only grew like 1 or 2 leaves. This one is grown like 4 now. 3 under my care, and it finished developing the one that was growing. Excuse me, you guys. I just got my flu shot this morning, and I don't know. I was very nervous about getting my flu shot. Because I'm pretty sure that every other employer is doing the same thing. You show any signs or anything like that, and you're out. Alright. Right now is not a good time for me to be out of work. We're going through a lot of inspections and whatnot. So we need everybody there, and like I said, we're already so undermanned. So I'm afraid of getting sick. So I'm just using the chopstick to push the media in there without actually crushing the roots. And this chopstick I actually received. I placed an order for some lava rock and some ceramic. And some ceramics. And yeah, I received a nice little gift of chopsticks. 1 chopstick, so I can't use it. But I already own a pair like this. I have for my lunch bag, and it actually, I didn't think I was gonna like using a chopstick to move my media around, but it works really well, you guys. Your finger works just as good too, so. See all those roots still on top? It's because the pot is kind of small. Well, it's not really small. It's just this plant has a lot of root. You see how it's tilting to the side? And that's even me after repotting it a second time. Alright, so I got my shares. I had to take them inside a few minutes ago, and I totally forgot them in there. But when I walked in there, right, I left them on my shelf where I have my other orchids. So I was adding an extra shelf. That's why I left them in there. So I just noticed the thermostat in there, and it's only 5 degrees warmer than it is out here. So my thermostat indoors is reading 75 degrees with 43% humidity. And out here, can't see it because I have the camera focused to this, but I'll show you guys in a minute. It's at 70 degrees. You see that right there? So it's a 70 degrees, 61% humidity. And that's pretty much where it stays at, around 70. Temperatures have been dropping to like low 50s, 53 I think I saw, and that was making me a little nervous for some of the plants that I have out here, because this is the first time that I actually have orchids, or different orchids besides phals, right? And yeah, I'm nervous about that. I will have to order a heater soon. I actually already put one. It's waiting in my cart for me just to order, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm really gonna need it or not. See how that one's still kind of hanging? It's because there's nothing really to hold it. So I'm gonna use the same stake I was using, and I'm gonna be very gentle because remember this one had a lot of root, and all it needs is a few, I don't know, a week or two maybe, and it should stiffen up. It's because the leaf is still growing. You can see the difference of color there. It's a way lighter green. The green is way lighter, and that's because it's still growing. It's still tender. So it's gonna do that. So you see that? It's not that bad. It does the job. In a month or two, I should be able to just, you know, remove that if I wanted to. You see how this one's also leaning? I'm not gonna repot this one. I don't think I have to. Plus, I don't see any signs of snails. The only reason why I unpotted the other one is I noticed indications that there were snails. For this one, I don't. It's still moist down there, so I'm not gonna water it either. I don't know. You see that? I think I might just leave it like that. Add a smaller spike. Hopefully, it keeps it in place. Leaves are the ones that I have issues with when they start growing. They're so tender. Look at the size of these. It's like the size of my forearm, you guys. Look at that. Look at this leaf. Literally the size of my forearm. Those are long. So, you see that? Fingertips here, all the way here. That's what I was trying to, you know, keep it in an area, but I think this one will be fine. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I might just spray a little water up here on the roots to keep it from completely drying out, because as you can see, this is what gets me sometimes, and I hope you guys pay attention to this. I'm sure a lot of you guys already do, but see, when I see this and when my family sees this, they think that my orchids are dry. And I had to explain this to my mother because she would see my plants and she's like, they're so dry, they're so dry. But no, they're not dry. If you lift, I have leca in there. I have leca in there, and I have moss. I have a mixture of moss, leca, and bark. There's a hole down here where you see my finger in there. I don't want to tilt because I don't want to lose any of my media, but it's still slightly moist. So this plant can still go another day or two without watering. Like I said, the only thing is the roots on top, so that's why you just grab a little mister or a spray bottle and you just slightly spray the roots, and that's it. That's all you need to keep it from you know, from overwatering. And that's one of the things that I'm learning with these phals again, is I totally forgot how to care for these. But yeah, I think I'm doing a good job, because look at this one. In previous videos, actually, if you go back to my May 2020 update, which I know I haven't done any updates, but I think that was the last update I did, and it shows how this leaf was just being developed and this one was also still growing. So these two. So I had mentioned before that this one actually puts out, it's like 2 leaves at a time. So it puts out a leaf, and halfway it stops growing and it puts out another leaf, and then that one stops growing, and then the one the one that was still halfway starts developing completely. That's why these leaves are so big. I've never had a phal like that before. Normally all my phals, they develop the one leaf completely and then they start developing a second leaf. This one, no, it does 2 at a time. It's very strange. I still don't know what kind of blooms these are. This was a gift. When I received it, there was no blooms, so, and it had already spiked. You can tell because I cut off the spikes. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with just the foliage. Look at that. I do need a little cleaning here, but yeah, hopefully I do get spikes soon. I do not see a new leaf, so I'm looking out for spikes. I think I might get one here. It's starting to bulge here a little bit. I don't know. Fingers crossed, guys. Alright guys, well this is it. This is what my phals look like, completely staked. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I know I've done this to other phals and they've done good. It's not the prettiest thing, but it works, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing. I do try to post weekly. Sometimes due to my schedule, I don't, but I will continue to post videos. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please do let me know. I do review my comments on a daily basis. So that's it, guys. You guys have a good day. Bye.